In the serene mountains of Kyoto, nestled among ancient cedar trees, stood a modest Zen temple. Its master, Takashi, was known for his wisdom and compassion. One crisp autumn morning, a package arrived from a former student, now a successful glassblower in Tokyo. Takashi carefully unwrapped the parcel, revealing a breathtaking crystal cup. Its delicate patterns caught the light, creating a mesmerizing dance of rainbows across the room. A note accompanied the gift. "Master, this cup represents the clarity you've brought to my life. May it serve you well." Deeply moved, Takashi incorporated the cup into his daily routine. Each morning, he would brew a fragrant green tea and pour it into the crystal vessel, savoring both the drink and the memories it evoked. Visitors to the temple were often treated to the sight of the master cradling the cup, his eyes twinkling as he recounted tales of his former student's journey. However, Takashi's appreciation for the cup was tempered by a profound understanding of impermanence, a cornerstone of Zen philosophy. Every day, before taking his first sip, he would hold the cup at eye level, examining its flawless surface. In a whisper, he would remind himself, "This glass is already broken." This daily ritual wasn't born of pessimism, but of a deep acceptance of reality. Takashi understood that all things, no matter how precious, are transient. By acknowledging the cup's inevitable fate, he freed himself from the suffering that attachment brings. Months passed, and the cup became a talking point among the local Zen community. Students would visit just to admire its beauty and listen to Takashi's teachings on mindfulness and detachment. One blustery spring day, a group of new students arrived at the temple. As Takashi was showing them around, a young, eager pupil named Hiro became enthralled by the cup's story. In his excitement, he gestured too wildly, accidentally knocking the shelf where the cup rested. Time seemed to slow as the crystal cup tumbled through the air. It hit the tatami floor with a resounding crack, shattering into countless glittering shards. A collective gasp filled the room, followed by a heavy silence. Hiro stood frozen, his face a mask of horror and shame. The other students held their breath, unsure of how the master would react to the destruction of his prized possession. But Takashi's expression remained serene. He gazed at the glittering fragments scattered across the floor, a small smile playing on his lips. "Ah, yes," he said softly. "Let's begin." The students watched in amazement as Takashi calmly retrieved a broom and dustpan from a nearby closet. As he began sweeping up the shards, he spoke. "This, my dear students, is the true lesson of the crystal cup. Impermanence is not just a concept to be understood intellectually, but a reality to be embraced fully. Everything in this world will eventually break, change, or disappear. By accepting this truth, we free ourselves from attachment and learn to appreciate each moment as it comes." Hiro, still distraught, stepped forward with tears in his eyes. "Master, I'm so sorry. How can I ever make amends for destroying such a precious gift?" Takashi paused in his sweeping and placed a gentle hand on Hiro's shoulder. "You have given us all a precious gift today, a vivid demonstration of life's impermanence. There is nothing to forgive. Instead, let us be grateful for the beauty we enjoyed while it lasted, and for the lesson it continues to teach us even now." As the students joined in cleaning up the broken cup, a profound sense of understanding settled over the group. They realized that Takashi's daily ritual of acknowledging the cup's fragility had prepared him for this very moment, allowing him to face its loss with equanimity and grace. In the days that followed, many visitors came to the temple, having heard about the incident. Instead of finding a mournful atmosphere, they discovered a community invigorated by a deepened understanding of Zen principles. Takashi used the empty space where the cup once stood to teach about the beauty of emptiness and the freedom that comes from non-attachment. And so, the crystal cup continued to serve its purpose, not as a physical object, but as a powerful reminder of the transient nature of all things and the peace that comes from accepting life as it is.
You know how much we love a good story here. And this one about a Zen master and a crystal cup is just full of little hidden gems of wisdom.
It really is, and it's a great illustration of that Zen idea of impermanence.
It really is.
That idea that, everything's always changing, nothing lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple story.
Yeah,
But it has such profound lessons, I think, about how we relate to the world around us,
it really does. It really does.
and especially to the things that we value.
Yeah, and this one really spoke to me. It really spoke to me. So let's set the scene for our listener, okay?
Okay.
We are in the mountains, the tranquil mountains of Kyoto,
Tranquil.
with Master Takashi.
Yes.
And he receives this exquisite crystal cup as a gift from a former student.
It's something special, yeah. This cup is like, no ordinary cup.
It's something, yeah, it's a symbol of their bond and their connection.
Yeah, it's like a reminder of their gratitude towards him, their former teacher.
And Master Takashi, he incorporates this cup into his daily life.
He does. He uses it for his morning tea,
Every day.
almost like a ritual.
It's not just an object.
Right.
This holds meaning for him.
It does, exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
So each day, as he's admiring this beautiful, fragile object, he reminds himself, this glass is already broken.
Whoa. That's a powerful statement.
It is.
Can you unpack that a little bit for our listener?
Absolutely. He's not being pessimistic or anything like that. He's just acknowledging the reality of impermanence.
Okay.
Everything, no matter how precious it seems, how permanent, it's eventually going to change. It's going to disappear in this form anyway.
Okay.
And by accepting this truth, Takashi's freeing himself from attachment
Okay.
and from the suffering that comes with clinging to things.
So he's practicing what he preaches.
Exactly.
He is embodying this Zen principle in his daily life.
Precisely. He understands that, if he clings to this idea that this cup is going to last forever, it's just going to lead to disappointment because inevitably at some point it's going to break.
Sure. So he's appreciating it in the present moment.
Yes.
Knowing that it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, and it's not just about possessions either. This can be applied to anything.
Right.
Relationships, careers, our health, even our sense of self.
Wow.
Recognizing that these things are impermanent actually allows us to appreciate them more now.
That's interesting.
And to let go more gracefully when it's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good point. That's a really good point. So we have Master Takashi living with this awareness, symbolized by this crystal cup. But how do other people start to view this cup?
Well, it's not just him. I mean, word starts to spread about this exquisite cup.
Yeah.
And his practice of reminding himself that it's already broken.
Right.
And people come, they want to see it. They want to hear him talk about it. The cup starts to take on this whole other meaning.
It becomes a symbol of his teaching.
Exactly.
And then, the inevitable happens. A new group of students arrives.
Uh-oh.
And one of them, Eager Hero, I think his name was.
Heroes.
He accidentally knocks the cup off the shelf.
Can you imagine? Everybody's there to see this precious object, this symbol.
Everybody's watching.
Just waiting to see what happens.
It's like the world just stopped spinning for a second.
You can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
This isn't just any object.
Right.
This cup represents so much more.
Mm.
And everyone's waiting with bated breath to see how Master Takashi's going to react.
So how does he respond?
Well, instead of getting upset or, showing disappointment, Master Takashi just calmly smiles and says, "Ah, yes, let's begin."
Let's begin.
I know.
Like, it's not a tragedy, it's an opportunity.
Exactly. He doesn't dwell on it.
Yeah.
He doesn't blame young hero.
Right.
He just starts sweeping up the pieces,
Wow.
Uses it as a teaching moment for everyone there.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. This is impermanence in action.
It's one thing to talk about it, but to see it, and he doesn't try to fix it.
Nope.
He doesn't try to glue it back together. He just accepts it.
He accepts it. And remember, he's been preparing for this moment, in a way, every single day.
How so?
By acknowledging that the cup is already broken.
Okay.
He's also preparing for that eventual day when it actually does break.
Right, because intellectually we can say, yeah, I know everything changes.
Exactly.
But until you really experience it and until you embody it, it's not real.
And I think that's what's so powerful about this story.
Yeah.
Is that he meets that moment with such calmness.
Total acceptance.
Acceptance, yeah. And in a way,
Mm-hmm.
the real lesson of the crystal cup began in that moment.
Okay, so what does he tell Hero?
So Hero's standing there, probably mortified, right?
Yeah, probably just wants to disappear.
And Master Takashi looks at him and he says, "You've given us all a precious gift today, a vivid demonstration of life's impermanence." That's amazing, right? Like,
Yeah.
instead of focusing on the loss,
He shifts it.
he highlights the lesson. It's like the cup's real purpose
Yeah.
was always meant to be found in that destruction,
It's easy to read about impermanence in a book,
Totally.
but to actually witness it, To have that experience of something going from existence to being gone in a split second.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And that's exactly what Master Takashi understood. Sometimes we need that very visceral experience, the tangible experience, to really get it, to internalize these lessons.
So the crystal cup is gone.
It is.
Does he replace it?
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
No, he leaves the shelf empty.
Interesting.
And that empty space becomes its own teaching tool, you see?
I know.
Because that emptiness isn't about nothingness.
Right.
It's about potential. It's about being open to new possibilities.
By not rushing to fill that space, he's encouraging his students to contemplate the nature of emptiness itself.
Yeah, in Zen Buddhism, that emptiness or sunyata, it's not really about like a void or anything.
Okay.
It's about the potential that exists in each moment.
Right.
The understanding that nothing is fixed. Nothing is permanent.
So even in its destruction, the crystal cup, it still serves its purpose.
Absolutely. Yeah, it becomes this powerful reminder that change is inevitable, and that attachment to things, whether they're objects or ideas, that's what causes us suffering. So by letting go, by embracing the fact that everything is temporary, we actually open ourselves up to greater peace and a deeper appreciation for what we have right now.
This story really resonated with me. It's a good reminder to appreciate things in the moment.
Absolutely.
And to be open to those changes that are coming, because they're going to come.
Yeah.
It makes you think, what are the crystal cups in our own lives? Like, what are the things that we're holding on to?
That's such an important question for all of us to ask ourselves.
It is.
What are we clinging to, and how can we find that same peace?
Yeah, Master Takashi had.
Yeah, that acceptance, even when those things inevitably change or disappear.
What a beautiful lesson to end on, and that is a great place to leave it for today.